Hey y'all, I'm Blaine Phillips.
And I'm Jason LeVan.
We're married, like just a minute ago, but we've been together for 14 years.
We have a teenage daughter.
Which means she's basically an adult, right?
We're also growing a business on the side together.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Through all of that, we've learned how to improve so many aspects of our lives and show up in an amazing way.
So we decided to host a podcast to share our journey with you.
It's called Let's Do Life Together, because that's just what we want to do with you.
So if you could use some tips and tricks on how to make life a little smoother,
then you're in the right place.
come on in and let's do life.
How funny. I don't think I ever considered that we would be recording a podcast episode. Gosh, can you believe it? I love podcasting. Also recording a podcast episode after a getaway, and that getaway being a yoga retreat. What in the ham sandwich is happening around here?
Sounds kind of woo-woo, doesn't it?
It sounds a whole lot of woo-woo, but it just happened. We're here right now in real time. We've talked before about the importance of getting away as a couple. We did that in a past episode. You can check it out if you want. And our personal goal is to get away at least once a quarter. So 4 times a year, we do our very best to book a getaway. That doesn't always mean we actually get away. For example, this year, we decided to do 2 staycations and 2 getaways. So we just lock up in the house on the weekends that we stay and maybe do something fun around town or whatever we want. And then the other 2, we try to get away and explore something new. So we just finished up, like right now, like we're podcasting during that time, I guess, at the tail end of it, if you will, our Q2 getaway. And we did something totally different that I never would have expected that we did, but it happened. We went on a yoga retreat. But first, what went into actually making that happen, Jason?
So generally, the way we look at the year is each quarter we try to kind of pencil in if it's going to be a getaway or a staycation and kind of pick the weekend that we think is going to work best. I say in pencil because until it's booked, it's flexible. But just based on experience and kind of what we have going on in life in general, we kind of have a good idea of when it's going to work best for each particular quarter.
If you don't get something in pencil, life will take over, and before you know it, the year will be gone and you never made time as a couple. So we really try to do that at the beginning of the year, at least pencil it in. And then when it gets a little closer, we pick that thing. So for us this year, I'm on this mission to do new things with our date nights, with our getaways, have new experiences. I mean, we have some things that we love. I love a good Whole Foods date night, and I love to go to a good bed and breakfast up in wine country, but I also love doing new things and experiencing them together as a couple. There's something super special about that. Like when you have a new experience that neither of you have ever done and you're going to do it together, you can't quite explain it. So I heard about this retreat and sent it to Jason and we booked it. That's the next thing. We just decided and we booked it. Here it is. We're going to make it happen.
Right. So that's where you switch from pencil to ink, I guess. So it's booked, it's on the calendar, and this thing is going to happen.
Yeah.
And then, all right, then it's logistics after that. All right. What day do we leave? What time? So does Sienna need picked up from school? Arrange my parents to watch her for the weekend? What does she have going on that weekend that we need to coordinate? So is there a soccer game? Well, all right, where's the soccer game? Does she need transportation? Or is it, the home game and her grandparents are going to take her? Or, any of those other activities, anything that's going to happen that weekend. And then when are we coming back? All right, she get taken to school and we pick her up or whatever those logistics are.
I think the point of us breaking that down is we understand how hard it can be to make time for yourself as a couple, but we also understand the importance of it, of having that time away to just really connect. So don't let the logistics be a thing, be an excuse that keep you from making it happen. We're very lucky that Jason's parents do live locally, but that's not always been the case. They only retired here a few years ago. And before that, we worked it out with friends, or we would, sometimes when we would be visiting family, we would take a night away from the family for ourselves, and Sienna would get to stay with the grandparents, or whatever it looks like. Just trade favors, do what you need to do to make that time as a couple, because it's pretty invaluable. And for us, like I said, this time we wanted to try something new. And yoga, I guess you're probably wondering, like, how do we end up at a yoga retreat? Well, yoga's kind of new for us. That's true. I mean, we're all Spartaned out and working on getting beastie over here. But part of that is building in active recovery and doing things that rest your muscles and strengthen them and stretch them and flexibility and all the things. And so we tried our hand at yoga, and we really have gotten into hot yoga in the past, I don't know, Jason, several months we started going?
Yeah, a few months now, which, so there's a local, studio, I think is what they call it. So,
ooh, you sound so fancy.
Hot yoga, so we tried it out, and yeah, we really liked it. You sweat a lot. It feels like a workout. It's not just, woo-woo meditating and doing some weird poses and stretching. It's pretty active.
I have a whole new appreciation for yoga now than I once did. Let me just say, what I thought yoga once was is now what I know not to be true.
It helps with your core strength, overall, body control and flexibility. And
your balance. And as we age, all those things are really important. So we've kind of gotten into yoga, and this popped up truthfully through the YMCA. Like, as you know, I recently, or maybe you don't know, but I recently started working as a group fitness instructor, which was one of my bucket lists for this year at our local YMCA, which is super, super fun. And I've come to love it so much. My Thursday night ladies are a highlight of my week. And during that process, I found out about this camp that they have and just started looking at what they offer. And one thing led to another. And I was like, hey, Jason, let's go to this. Honestly, we really had no idea what we were getting into. I mean, there's a small description of what it was going to be like on their website, but we're all about new adventures this year. So we're like, all right, we know we're going to this thing. We can see a kind of schedule of activities. There's some cabins, there's some food, but here we go.
Right. So we hadn't experienced it, so we didn't really know what we were getting into.
I also made up some things about what the weekend was going to be like. I was pretty sure it was going to be all hippies, like all the things that you think about when you think of yoga. We were going to be the youngest ones there. We were not going to have a clue what to do. You have the little bit of information that then you have the story that you tell yourself in your mind, and then you actually have reality. So what we knew was it was Friday to Sunday, and it was not meant for couples. That was the interesting part. That was the little twist of it wasn't, couples can certainly go, but they have the cabins separate. There's the male and the female cabins. So Jason and I wouldn't be sleeping together, which is fine. We sleep together every night, and we'd signed up for that. But then as it got closer, like just a couple days ago, we realized how beautiful the weather was going to be. And you always had the option to camp. P.S. We're not huge campers. Let's just put it out there. But I was like, the weather's going to be so nice. And then when we camp, we could sleep together, which is nice. We're going on a getaway. Usually we stay together during a getaway.
Right. It definitely changed the definition of getaway when we thought we were staying in separate cabins.
But here's the hack on that. Here's how we hacked that. We thought we were staying in separate cabins, and so that was going to be 2 nights away. Well, we turned this particular getaway into a 3-night getaway. Jason took a bonus day off of work so we could have that extra day to ourselves. We didn't tell anyone. We were coming back a day early, and we wanted to still make that time. So we were doing this thing and still making sure that we had couple connection time. If you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, so it was a getaway combined with a little mini staycation.
Yeah, but we ended up turning it into a camping adventure because the weather was beautiful and we had our tent, which, P.S., let me tell you, something I hadn't thought of when it came to the cabins was I was down to stay with other women, but you forget when you don't do that often how people go to bed at different times and wake up at different times. And some people snore and some people don't. So chatting with other people who were in these cabins, I was like, whew, am I glad I'm in this tent because I know what I'm getting when I get Jason. So here we are. We arrived and oh my gosh, the camp was beautiful, right, Jason?
Well, the weather was actually perfect. So that helps a lot. So, it's warm, not hot, not humid.
Breezy,
didn't get cold at night. It was just, ideal weather for the whole weekend. The camp was nice, not too big, not too small, but, people could definitely spread out.
Right on the water. We live here in Virginia and it was located right on the Chesapeake Bay. Like legitimately, we had our tent open and looked out over this beautiful dock and water. That's how we went to sleep and woke up. Like you couldn't get any better. It was clean. It was nice. And it was great. I mean, everything about the facility was way more than I expected. I don't know what I expected, but it exceeded my expectations.
Right. The food was decent. It was, all locally sourced from local farms, and it was all donated because the whole retreat was basically a fundraiser for YMCA. So we didn't really understand that going in, I don't think. So it made sense. The local farmers were donating food so we could, eat healthy. All these yoga people could have some clean meals. So that was nice.
And the variety of workshops. I mean, there were so many different things from hard level yoga to lighter level to helping you with your positioning to, I think Jason slept during one of his sessions because it was about sleepy time yoga. I don't know. What were you? I think it was a nap. I think it was code for take a nap.
Somebody was snoring in that one for sure. But for me, it was nice just to kind of get experience with different types of yoga because as you get into anything, you realize that there's so many variations of things. So if you don't do yoga and we say yoga, you have a picture in your mind. You think this is what that means. And that's how we were, a year ago. But now we understand there's different levels, there's different types, there's different styles, and it's all under the umbrella of yoga. Well, and they had lots of sessions of different types, so we could experience different things.
Which was really cool. Like there was one session I took and I was like, nope, this is not my jam. I do not enjoy this drumming yoga, something that's happening. But then I did this other one. It was like this dance fusion yoga class. I don't even know, but it was so fun. Not Jason's jam. He's not going to do that. That was during nap time for him. But it's just so cool to try new things and have new experiences with your partner. Like we have a whole different set of memories now, experiences to talk about. Can you believe we tried that? What did you think about this? And we did some workshops together and then we broke off and we did different workshops and we would come back after the hour and he could tell me about his and I would tell me about mine. And when you're learning new things, it just breathes a freshness into things. And when you're doing it together, it's even more exciting. It connects you as a couple to have these new experiences together.
And it was nice that there were other couples there too. I don't think we anticipated there being many, but there were a few. And then same thing, you kind of get a connection with them because this is another couple who's, making their relationship a priority and doing things together.
Right. And when you do things like this, you're going to meet like-minded people. For example, there was a couple there at this yoga retreat. Turns out they live in our same city. So now we have this new connection that we otherwise would not have met, where they're a couple that is prioritizing their health like we are, because they're at a yoga retreat. They're prioritizing their relationship because they made time to get away together over a weekend. They live in our same city. We have like-minded interests. We exchange phone numbers, and I feel very confident that we will become friends. Like we will likely do things together and have like-minded friends, which how freaking cool is that?
Yeah, so the retreat was an hour and a half away, and it was, I don't know, coincidence or whatever, serendipity, whatever you call it, but these people who actually go to the same hot yoga studio, to even just having, doing hot yoga is another thing you have in common with them. And then turns out, their daughter goes to school with Abby. Like it was just all these connections. It's like, all right, it just adds to the overall experience when you come away with that kind of unexpected thing.
Yeah, it's so cool. And like Jason kind of alluded to earlier, I believed going into this was just a particular type of retreat that this camp offered. I did not know until we got there. It was its 10-year anniversary. It's a fundraiser that these wonderful committee of volunteers has been putting on for 10 years, where all the proceeds, so the money that we paid to go, because all the food is donated and the instructors donate their time for these workshops, there's not a lot of overhead cost. So all the proceeds the YMCA uses to fund kids to come to this camp for summer camp. I had no idea. Like, it just made me fall in love with it all over again, because we're having a great time. It's a great experience. We're away with a couple. We just made some new friends in our town. And you tell me this is a fundraiser that's going to benefit children all summer long for making memories at summer camp. Like, holy bazinga. I can't even take it. Oh my goodness. All right, Jason, I'm going to put you on the spot because we're here. It's the last day. So what was your favorite part of our yoga weekend getaway?
So I did like the general experience of trying the new things. Tai Chi specifically I'd been thinking about, and that was one of the sessions, so that was good. But probably making the decision to go camping in the tent instead of the cabin, and then being able to just be right there on the water and wake up right before sunrise and just sit on the dock, watch the sun come up. You
can't say that one. That was my favorite.
Well.
Oh my gosh. It's true though. Saturday morning, we were out in the tent, so we didn't disturb anyone, like you said, and we were right down by the water. We set our alarm and we woke up together and just walked out to the dock, and the water was so peaceful and it was quiet, and we sat there and we watched the sunrise, and it was so funny because it was really quiet when we first went out there. Like, there was daylight, but the sun hadn't actually risen yet, so it was pretty quiet, and the sun rose, and within like 10 minutes it was like God just turned the switch on the world. Like, the fish are jumping, the geese are squawking, the birds are flying about, a crane's going out to eat his breakfast, and it's just those little moments. We're sitting there beside each other, holding hands, having this new experience, watching the sunrise. It was quiet. It was calm. It reconnects you, because there's just so much in the busyness of life. You have to do the laundry, and you have to pay the bills, and you have to do the things. But making that time to reconnect every few months centers you, re-energizes you, and refuels you. So right now, as we're ending this long weekend, I feel ready to go back and attack it. And I know our next quarter is already on the books, and I know when it's going to happen. And this fuels me to get to then when I can reconnect. It's just like date night, that couple hours each week I can get through to the next thing, because it gives you something to look forward to. So that was probably my favorite too, just sharing life and new things with you.
Yep. So we encourage you to get something on your calendar, pencil it in today, and, get away with your person, try something new. Maybe just getting away is the something new.
That's a good point.
Start with that.
Start with that. Make it a priority. Or maybe go get your yoga on. I mean, I still can't do crow, but Jason can, so you never know, right? Talk to you next time.